Good day, everyone. So, today we are going to discuss Chapter 13 IT Project Management. IT project management provides the structure that turns strategic IT goals into controlled, measurable results. As projects become more complex and cross functional, organizations need clear frameworks to manage scope, risks, resources, and accountability. Under PO10 managed projects, the focus is not just on completing tasks, but on establishing a controlled project environment. First, it requires both a program management framework and a project management framework. The program framework ensures strategic alignment across multiple initiatives, while the project framework ensures structured execution at the individual project level. It then emphasizes the project management approach, meaning projects should follow a consistent and disciplined methodology. This includes defining the project scope statement clearly at the beginning to prevent scope creep and misalignment. Stakeholder commitment is also critical. Projects cannot succeed without defined roles, business sponsorship, and active user involvement. The framework continues with structured phase initiation, an integrated project plan, and proper allocation of project resources. This ensures the right people and budget are available at the right time. Risk management and quality planning are not optional, they are embedded controls. Alongside these are change control mechanisms, which prevent uncontrolled modifications that may affect costs or timelines. There must also be defined assurance methods, along with performance measurement, reporting, and monitoring to track deviations and enforce accountability. Finally, project closure is formalized. A project is not complete when coding ends. It is complete when deliverables are accepted, performance is evaluated, and benefits are realized. Overall, PO10 ensures that projects are governed, monitored, and aligned with business objectives, not just technically executed. Distinguishing program management from project management is essential. Program management is the keeper of the vision. It focuses on results, leadership discipline, and cross functional coordination. It ensures that multiple related projects collectively deliver strategic value. A program manager acts as a master communicator, aligning stakeholders and maintaining overall direction. In contrast, project management focuses on specific deliverables. It manages process, output quality, resource consumption, and schedule adherence. It is execution driven and detail oriented, emphasizing planning and risk control within defined boundaries. Simply put, program management protects strategic alignment while project management protects operational discipline. To strengthen coordination, many organizations establish a program management office or PMO. Research suggests that organizations with enterprise project standards in a project office experience significantly fewer cost overruns and delays, and in some cases, nearly 50% fewer major failures. The PMO achieves this by institutionalizing a clear framework, enforcing consistent standards, and leveraging technology tools to monitor multiple projects simultaneously. So, effective IT governance requires both levels visionary coordination at the program level and discipline control at the project level.
Let's move forward naman sa Gartner's 10 best practices for success. So according to Gartner, for project to be successful, there are important principles that must be followed. First, all project must be owned by business units. So this means that IT is not the only one responsible. So the business department itself should have ownership because it is the one that will benefit from the project. Second, all project must be launched in an orderly and rational fashion. So yung project should not start without proper planning. And next, there should be a consistent and stable system. So this means there is standard process being followed so that project management methods are not constantly changing. And next, yung project success criteria must be defined early and monitored. So from the beginning, it should already be clear what a successful project means. So there is a basis for determining whether the goal was achieved. Next is the roles and responsibilities of sponsorship must be well understood. So yung sponsor, who is usually a senior manager. So she or he should have a clear role, so especially in funding and decision making. And next, yung rules and responsibilities for managing project must be clear. So this ensures that everyone knows their specific task and responsibilities. And next, process for assigning individuals is rational and assignments are reasonably stable. So yung team members should not constantly change or because this can negatively affect yung performance. And next is yung project are expected to have comprehensive plans, realistic estimates, and viable schedules. So yung timeline and budget should be realistic, so not just idealistic. And next, yung project status is systematically, forthrightly, and consistently reported. So yung transparency is important, so yung management can be aware of any delays or problems. And lastly, yung project are not considered complete until they are fully operational and the benefits have been realized. So just because the system is finished does not mean the project is complete. So it must be functioning properly and producing actual benefits. So let's move forward naman sa Project Management Lifecycle or PMLC and System Development Lifecycle or SDLC. So let's differentiate these two. So first is yung Project Management Lifecycle or PMLC. It focuses on managing the project itself. So it has 5 phases. First is yung initiation, where yung project and its goals are identified, yung planning, where the detailed plan, budget, and schedule are created, and execution, where the actual work is carried out, and next is yung monitoring and controlling, where yung progress is monitored and issues are addressed if problems arise. And yung next is yung closing, yung formal completion and evaluation of the project. So on the other hand, the System Development Lifecycle or SDLC focuses on developing the system or product. So it includes yung requirements, ito yung gathering the needs of users, design, so planning the structure of system. When it comes to development, yung coding or building the system. Sa testing naman, checking for errors, and yung deployment, yung pag-release ng system for actual use. So, in simple terms, yung PMLC is about managing the project while SDLC is about building the system. So, next naman is yung Project Management Standard or PMBOK. So, basically, yung PMBOK stands for Project Management Body of Knowledge. So it was developed by Project Management Institute or PMI. So it is global professional standard that defines best practices and processes in project management. So yung PMBOK covers different knowledge areas such as yung scope management, cost management, risk management, and quality management, and etc. So basically, yung PMBOK serves as a guide to ensure that projects are managed properly, systematically, and professionally.
Now, let us discuss resource management. Resource management is the process of planning, scheduling, and allocating resources to successfully complete a project. These resources include people, time, budget, and technology tools needed throughout the project lifecycle. First, projects require appropriate governance, meaning roles, authority, and responsibilities are clearly defined so decisions can be made efficiently. Second, resources must be available at the right time. Even when resources exist, delays can still occur if they are not accessible when needed. Another important element is having a work breakdown structure, which divides the project into smaller and manageable tasks. This helps teams understand their responsibilities and monitor progress more effectively. Tasks must also be properly prioritized to prevent conflicts with other projects and ensure deadlines are met. Additionally, deliverables must be produced on time and with the right quality, since completing tasks quickly is not enough if standards are not achieved. Management at all levels should remain informed and actively involved, ensuring proper communication and support throughout the project. And lastly, the end user must participate and formally accept the project results to confirm that the system meets business requirements. Now let us move to project planning, which focuses on developing a realistic and achievable plan for the project. Project planning has several important objectives. First one is to predict project duration, which means estimating how long activities will take so that deadlines become realistic and manageable. The second objective is identifying the resources required, including personnel, systems, and tools needed to complete project tasks. The third objective is estimating the project cost, which helps management allocate budgets and control spending. And once the project requirements are identified in terms of time, resources, and cost, the next step is to establish a reasonable project plan. The first step is estimating work, where project managers analyze tasks and determine the level of effort required to complete them. Next is establishing commitment, meaning all involved parties agree to their responsibilities, schedules, and expected outputs. This helps ensure coordination and accountability among project teams. And finally, the team must define the plan, which formally documents the schedules, milestones, deliverables, and procedures that will guide the execution of the project. And through this process, Project planning transforms project goals into a clear operational roadmap. However, planning alone does not guarantee success. The project must also be continuously monitored to ensure it follows the established plan. This brings us to project tracking and oversight. Project tracking and oversight provides visibility so management can detect problems early and respond quickly. The main purpose of this is to monitor actual progress compared with planned targets. This helps management maintain control throughout the different phases of the project, ensuring that expected business benefits are achieved and keeping project costs aligned with original estimates. Another important aspect is the key goals of tracking, which includes tracking performance against the project plan, identifying deviations, and taking corrective actions when necessary. Project tracking also ensures that any changes to commitments or project scope are properly managed and approved, preventing uncontrolled adjustments during the project. There are also core responsibilities involved in project oversight. The project manager oversees daily activities and evaluates whether the project objectives are being achieved. Management regularly receives the project status, while stakeholders approve major changes that may affect the project. And finally, tracking activities include monitoring schedules, costs, effort, and risks to ensure project performance remains within expectations. Teams also review technical progress and milestones, and when necessary, project plans are updated using documented procedures. Through these activities, project tracking and oversight ensure that the project remains controlled, transparent, and aligned with its objectives until completion.
Moving on to the next topic, which is project management tools. In order for project management to be a success, there is a need to utilize project management tools, which are essential tools for planning, tracking, and managing projects, whether it is a standalone project or an enterprise wide project management. Enterprise level tools help track and manage multiple people working on multiple different projects and help in finding cross project issues. It also helps integrate tasks, resources, and costs into one repository. Samples of enterprise level tools are project task planning and tracking, labor hour tracking, time capture and billing, time reporting, project budgeting, project communication, and project documentation. Next would be the auditor's role and objectives. The main objective of the auditor is to provide early identification of issues to ensure the project remains on time, within budget, and properly controlled. But this all depends on the organization's culture, maturity of the information systems, and philosophy of the auditing department. The key responsibilities and tasks of an auditor is administrative evaluation, deliverable validation, and strategic oversight. By becoming involved at strategic points, the auditor can ensure a project that is well controlled. This provides the company or the organization independent assurance that their control environment and control activities are in line with their objectives. This is why independence is key for auditors, because maintaining objectivity to provide an unbiased judgment and avoid conflict of interest improves their value of their assurance. Lastly, going to the auditor's workflow for the entirety, the auditor must first have a risk assessment, develop an audit plan, create a project management process review, continue on to project management, then find out control recommendations, then finally communicate these risk findings to the management. Now that we know the entirety of the audit workflow, here are the key audit processes in that workflow. First is the audit risk assessment, which identifies potential problems that may affect the success of the IT project. The main categories of risks there is process risk, which are broader in nature and affects the overall planning and direction of the project, while project risk are more specific and relates on how the project is actually being carried out or executed. The scope of audit involvement for mature organizations is specific, while for less mature, it is based on oversight and tracking. To manage this risk, organizations typically create an audit plan, which is the preliminary analysis of the control environment of the organization. The next step is the project management process review. It uses specific checkpoints to assess the project's internal controls and its current status. Through the review of these checkpoints, if the development process is well controlled, the need for heavy audit involvement becomes minimal. Continuing on is the project management, where the auditor serves as an advisor and a reviewer. This involves risk management, independent review, and resource check. Next is the communication and relationships. Auditors act as a bridge to put attention to the findings found so that the management and any other employee can put their attention onto it. And lastly, Control recommendations. The auditor suggests controls or safety measures or rules to prevent more errors or fraud to be found.
IT project success is not just about completing a system. It is about delivering the right value through structured governance and coordination. Through COVID PO10, projects are guided from initiation to closure with proper planning, risk management, resource control, and continuous monitoring. We also highlighted that program management safeguards the strategic vision, while project management ensures the actual deliverables are executed effectively. Supported by proven practices such as those identified by Gartner and reinforced by auditor oversight, organizations are better equipped to manage complexity and avoid costly failures. Ultimately, the success of IT initiatives is not measured by how many projects are completed, but by how effectively those projects transform strategy into real organizational results.